Okay, so today we're going to go over how to practice your major scales and learning all 12. What happens is a lot of kids, high school kids that go into the college, go in being able to play their scales, but then they don't really know them because whenever they're given a piece of the key signature, they always forget their flats and sharps and have to. And I see a lot of music where every single flat or single sharp in the part is circled. So I'm going to teach you the first step today of how to get out of that habit and practicing your major scales so you really know them in your head and you no longer need to write in every single flat and sharp. Now a major scale has a scale pattern. The scale pattern is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Just like that. Okay, there's 7 notes in a scale. You cannot have the same letter name more than once. So that means you can't have a scale that goes, in the major scale anyway, you can't have it go A sharp, and then C, D, E, F, G. Every letter name needs to be in the scale. So that was an example of a wrong scale. So if we look at the scale, let's see, if we look at the scale C, right? So we go C, and then we go C, C sharp, D, that's a whole step. D, D sharp, E, that's a whole step. E to F is a half step. F to G is a whole step. G to A is a whole step. A to B is a whole step. And B to C is a half step. So that's your scale. Now it's very important that we notice this pattern and not try to memorize key signatures. If you try to memorize key signatures, it's going to be a lot harder to be able to play key signature, ironically. So instead, what you want to do is to train your brain to write in accidentals. So the first thing you're going to do is I'm going to write down that scale. In the key of C, there are no accidentals. So you can go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And you just write down the scale like that. Now notice I didn't put in I am not taking forever to write in note heads. If you make this as pretty possible, this is going to take forever. So a shortcut to making note heads is you just do a sideways A. So you just take an A and you decide to make it really close to it as possible. So an A like that, kind of like that, and that's how you make a fast note head. So after that, so we have your scale, and in between notes is whole, half, whole, half. So this is a C major scale. Now, to get to the next scale, you're going to go to the 4th note of the scale, because we're going to go in the circle of 4ths, and this is going to become important way later. As you get into theory, you'll learn that in oral skills that the 4th, going in circle 4ths makes a lot more sense than going to circle 5ths in terms of modulation later. But for right now, don't worry about that. So we go to the 4th note, which is the note F. So we're going to do the same thing. So on the scale of F, we have F to G is a whole step, G to A is a whole step, now we need a half step. So if we go A to B, it's going to be a whole step. So we're going to do to A to B flat, which is a half step. B flat to C is a whole step, C to D is a whole step, D to E is a whole step, and E to F is a half step. So there we go. We got our pattern again. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Okay, and that's how you figure out what scales. If you don't have a teacher with you to double check this with you, you can always look up the scale online and make sure and check just the note names, because you don't want to go in through this and practice the notes wrong. So the way that you'd write this down now, and it's very, very important that you follow this step exactly. Do not write in the key signature. Okay? What you're going to do is you're going to write in the accidentals instead. So you're going to go F, G, A, B flat, and I'm going to put the accidental in, C, D, E, F. Just like that. Now what that does is that it allows you, it's training your brain every time you write down that B flat, okay, it's training your brain to know in the F scale that B is flat in the F scale. And then you just keep doing the same thing. So if you keep following this pattern and do it at all 12 keys every single day, your brain is going to process, oh, this scale has these notes, this scale has these notes, and you'll be able to picture each scale in your mind without looking at them. So I can, right now, as a music education major, I can take each of my scales and I can see each scale in my mind if I think about it. So, yeah. And you do that all the way until you come back to the same key. Now, the way to practice this, and the best way to practice this is with a drone or a keyboard. So, all tuners have a drone app. So if you were just doing this with a drone, you would go into your metronome, and you'd find the key that you're working on, and then you'd sing a solfege. So solfege, you'll sing a solfege to the note, and you'll just sing the scale. So it'll go like this. So if I was doing a C scale, I would practice this. Once I figure out the pattern of the notes, I go do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and you sing the note while you write it down. And this is going to help train your brain to know where do is, and where each of the pitches based on the solfege. So that way you can start sight singing with solfege. That will become helpful. That becomes a useful skill later when you start studying music more. If you don't have a drone with you, or if you have a piano with you, what you do, and this is a little bit more advanced, so if you're not ready for this at all, don't worry about it. So I have a keyboard, and what I'm going to do, so I have a keyboard with me. I can't figure out how to do this. Yeah. Once I figure out how to edit videos, these videos will be a lot better. Okay, so you take do, so, mi, and do. So the left hand has do and so, the right hand's going to have mi and do. And then you sing those pitches. Do. So use the sustain pedal. Let the marker go. I drop. Do. So do, re, and you have to. My piano doesn't sustain for long, so I have to keep doing this. Mi, fa, sol, sol, la, ti, do. Okay, so you were singing the scale. And you also write down the scale at the same time you sing it, just like you did before. Now, the nice thing about a piano is you can check the pitches. So I'm here and I'm singing, whoops. If I'm trying to sing do, or do. So I was singing do right here, which is a lot of people think so is do when they first do. This is so. I know that's the wrong one, do, so I can kind of help myself say, oh, this is do, and then match pitch. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So, do, re, do. Sorry. Do, fa. I'm playing F right now. Fa, mi. And so that's a great way to check your pitches. This is a lot easier to do with a piano that's just sings longer, like a real piano, not like this really cheap keyboard, and that will help with that. So if I had a real piano, what I would do is I would do the same thing I just did, but I'd write the notes down in between each one. All right. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below, and we'll see you next time.